Israel. Don't read. Surah, the same Surah, Ayah 160. We divided them into 12 tribes, nations, and we inspired Moses when his people asked him for water and so on. So, who are we still talking about?
You tell me. You're making a claim. You have to. Why are you asking me a question? Ask me to defend.
It's your book, isn't it?
Brother, you asked me to defend.
Are you a Muslim?
I'll defend.
You know, you clearly are clueless, so maybe you're not a Muslim. Is there a Muslim who... Are you a Muslim, sir? Yeah. So this gentleman is clueless. Have you ever read your Quran? I read the Quran, and I think reading the Quran, Islam should be declared a crime against humanity. Crime against humanity. Well, crime against Jews and Christians. Crime against women. Crime against people who leave Islam. Crime against, anyone who wants to make sense. So please explain to me. Please explain to me. Where is the problem? Have you ever read the Quran?
Yes.
What is the treatment of Islam, the Islamic theology towards Christians and Jews?
You tell me.
Have you ever read the Quran?
Jizya tax.
Have you ever read the Quran?
Yes.
What do you understand when reading the Quran as to how Jews and Christians ought to be treated?
Treated in what sense? In war?
In what?
What sense? What way do we treat them? In Darul Harb, in Darul Kufr, in the non-Muslim land, in a Muslim land? What are you talking about?
The Quran doesn't have...
What do you mean treating? What do you mean treating?
Once.
Yeah, go.
In the Quran,
Yes.
there is no such thing called non-Muslim land, Muslim land. You understand that?
Yeah.
So don't bring in irrelevant points. The Quran is very clear as to how how it views Jews and Christians, how Muslims should view Jews and Christians. Based on the details that you've read from the Quran, why do you think Islam should not be declared a crime against humanity?
What's your problem with it? I'm not gonna go.
Okay,
on
I'll give you a list.
defending myself.
Sure.
You tell me what's your
Sure.
problem with it?
Sure. Let me give you some details. Let me give you some details, and you can then defend. Yeah. The Quran. One second. The Quran.
Stop. Christian, you're a Christian, but Christianity should pay for its crime that he have against people as
the
well.
Quran.
So you come here and talk about the Quran and talk about Islam, but you don't read about Christianity.
Exit
and
this
how
way, exit
Christianity,
this way.
how Christianity
The Quran-
used to kill
Excuse
people
me,
as
sir.
well.
We are trying
So
to have...
that was in
Don't
those
touch me,
days.
don't touch me.
That
Please
was
don't
in-
touch
I'm
me.
not touching you. That
You
one
did
is-
touch me
I
multiple
don't even
times.
want to touch you.
Okay.
That one is in those
The Quran-
days. But in these days,
The Quran
it's different.
thinks-
You understand?
The
so
Quran
talk about
thinks-
these days right now. Talk about these days right now. Yeah? Talk about
I'm
these
gonna let
days
him
right
speak
now.
because he's
Because
speaking. I'm
because
gonna speak.
back then there was a war. Everybody kill everybody back then. Everybody kill everybody then.
The Quran
Everybody
thinks
kill
Jews are like dogs. Would you agree with that?
Where's the reference?
I didn't kill anyone.
Surah 7, Ayah
What are you talking
176.
about? So,
If it says,
Have you ever read? If it says so, you'd think Jews are like dogs?
open the copy for me.
Surah 7, Ayah 176.
Open the copy for me.
I'd like to read many things.
Open the copy here for me. Open the verse.
Okay, let's read. So, if the Quran...
No. Open the verse in the book, please.
When we open and find out that Islam thinks
No. Open
Jews
it,
are
open
like
it for me.
Muslims, what
Forget
are you
when,
planning to
open
do?
it for me. Let me read it.
Surah 7, Ayah 176.
1, 7.
Had we willed, we could have raised him by their means, but he clung to the earth and followed his own lust.
Who's him?
Will clung to his own lust. Therefore, his likeness is of the likeness of a dog.
The likeness of a dog.
Yeah.
Who's
That
he?
we'll come to that in a little bit. Yeah.
Is it
Like
Jews? You said all Jews, and now you're saying him. You're saying all Jews, and now you're saying him.
have you ever read this surah?
You're saying all Jews, and now
Have
you're
you
saying him.
have you ever read this surah?
No. You gave me a verse here.
Have you ever read this surah?
No. Forget that. Yeah. You gave me a verse, and you said it says all Jews are like dogs. Now it says the likeness of him is like a dog. Who is him? And
Yeah,
how
can
you
we
apply it to all Jews?
can we clearly you haven't read the
You made a claim. You have to defend it. Why are you asking me to defend it? Go on. Let's read it.
clearly you haven't read your Quran.
Go and read it.
And so let me clarify. Surah 7 Ayah 159. And of Moses' people. Who are Moses' people?
Bani Israel.
Good.
Yes.
So you see the context there? Moses' people.
Moses' people, yeah?
Yeah.
So
Surah 1. No, wait.
Go on, go on.
Clearly, you haven't got a clue, and
No,
you
no, no,
asked me,
no, no, no.
and I'm giving you
Why
an
are you getting
answer.
rude, broski?
Excuse
Why are
me.
you getting rude?
Look,
I'll leave right now if you're getting rude. Yeah?
you can leave any moment you want, but the point is, you clearly, when I read the verse that I read,
I'm asking
you
a
said,
question.
you
If it
demonstrated
says
your
if it
ignorance.
uses a singular pronoun in the verse here. How you think it applies to a multitude of people? It says the likeness of him. Him. How is that going against
Don't
the whole
shout.
qawm of people?
Please don't shout.
No, because you're
Let's-
shouting over me. You're shouting over me as if you know more. Go on, explain.
Are you scared of reading your own
I'm not
Quran?
scared, but you made a claim. You have to defend it.
That is okay, no problem.
So
Because
now can we
even-
read one step
even
at a time?
in the Bible, Jesus
One step at a
mentioned
time.
dark as
Surah,
well.
sir,
So
please
that
don't
is
touch me,
okay.
sir. Please don't touch
In the
me, sir.
Bible, Jesus
Surah,
mentioned
excuse me,
dark
sir.
as well. So that is okay.
7, Surah 7,
That is okay.
Ayah 159, Moses' people. We agree? It's about Israel. Don't we? Surah, the same Surah, Ayah 160. We divided them into 12 tribes, nations, and we inspired Moses when his people asked him for water and so on. So, who are we still talking about?
You tell me. You're making a claim. You have to. Why are you asking me a question? Ask me to defend.
It's
something.
your book, isn't it?
Brother, you asked me to defend.
Are you a
something.
Muslim?
I'll defend.
You know, you
I'll
clearly are
defend.
clueless, so maybe you're not a Muslim. Is there a Muslim who... Are you a Muslim, sir? Yeah. So this gentleman is clueless. Have you ever read your Quran? Of course I did. Okay, I'm trying to read from Quran, and he seems terribly scared. And he seems to demonstrate that he doesn't know the scriptures, i.e. Your Quran. So let's read this, yeah? Surah 7, Ayah 176.
This is the reason why war cannot. This is the reason why war cannot done in this world.
This is the
Because
reason
of
why you
people-
should stay away.
Because of people like these people, this Christianity. This is the reason why war and corruption cannot finish in this world. This is the reason why there will be no peace.
Where's your
in this
water?
world
Have you got
because
water?
of people like this man. This
Surah 7,
Christian man.
Ayah
This is the reason
176.
why war cannot
Ayah
finish.
1
Because people like these
Ayah
people.
176 portrays Jews as dogs. Based on this, I'm trying to find out why Islam should not be declared as crime against humanity. This is what I'm trying to find out. Because if I this is as clear as it could get. One of the most racist comments. Something that can demonstrate why the nation of Israel is currently being attacked. And so I'm trying to understand. The gentleman here has some religious clothing on, and so I thought he might know the Quran. But I read one verse. Excuse me. I read one verse. Excuse me. I read one verse, and he was scared already. Surah 7, Ayah 176. Jews are portrayed as dogs. Based on this, I'd like to have Islam categorized as crime against humanity. What would you say about that?
You're clearly wrong. Show me the verses. What are you talking about?
Yeah, please. It's here. Surah 7, Ayah 176.
Say that was in the past. I say that was in the past.
Don't push.
And if you want to bring up that right now,
Stay away,
I
stay
say
away.
Christianity.
If you ca-
Christianity.
That's fine. That's fine.
pay
Don't touch me. Don't touch
You
me.
don't touch me either.
Excuse me. Don't touch me.
You don't touch me.
Don't touch me. Stay away.
Okay, I'm not saying
Yeah. You pushed
I'm
my.
not pushing you.
Yeah. Who pushed the microphone? It's on record.
I don't-
Who pushed the microphone? Do you know who pushed the microphone?
Move your microphone away.
You touch me physically. If you don't like, you can move on.
In the ancient
Don't
of
touch
days-
my
in
Quran
the
as
ancient
if
of
you want
days,
to engage in a
there was a war
conversation,
between
and at the
Jews
same time
and
push my
Muslims.
other hand. Please
That
don't
was
do.
those days.
Stay away if you don't like.
But in these days
Clearly,
now,
clearly,
in these days now,
no. In
those
our
days-
nation, when people grow up,
Yeah.
brains also grow up, and we begin using them. We are trained to use them. Clearly, you're not trained, and therefore, I really commend to you to stay away. Stay away from Speaker's Corner, stay away from any public place if you can't engage in an intelligent public discourse. For other Muslims who might be intelligent, let me ask the same question again. Surah 7, Ayah 176 seems to suggest that Jews are dogs. Based on this, I'd really like to categorize Islam as a crime against humanity.
Okay.
Not
read.
just this.
Okay, you
Let's
read.
let's go through
You
an.
read.
Excuse me,
You
sir. I'm
read.
not here to
You
deal
read.
with your ignorance right
No,
now.
no,
We are trying to
no,
deal
you
with some
read.
intelligent comments.
You read
Any
and say-
intelligent Muslim
and say,
who wants to
the
engage
Jews
in
are
a
down. That's what
conversation
you read,
can
right?
begin engaging.
That's
Yes,
what
sir.
you read, right? No, you read that. You read
Are you a
that.
Muslim, sir?
It's fine.
Are you a Muslim, sir?
I'm asking.
You're not. You're not. Surah 7, Ayah 176. Are you a Muslim, sir? Are you a Muslim, sir? Surah 7, Ayah 176. Jews are like dogs. Is that a sensible statement to make? Is that a sensible statement to make? I think Islam should be categorized as a crime against humanity. It doesn't stop here. I'll go through a long list for you if you want.
In a lot of books. There is a lot of
Surah
unsensible
62.
statements made in
Excuse
a
me,
lot
sir.
of books.
Bring
And
your own
also-
camera, record
and
your own
also
stuff, sir.
even Jesus
Surah 62.
referred
Surah
some
62.
people as
Are you a
dogs
Muslim,
as
sir?
well. So,
But are you a
we're
Muslim?
talking about in those days. In
Yeah,
those
please
days, we're
try and
talking
explain.
about peace and
Surah
love.
62, Ayah 5. Jews are like donkeys. Are you happy with this idea? Metaphor. So, would you like to be called as a donkey as a metaphor? Would you like? So you don't like it even as a metaphor. So who cares if it is a metaphor or not? Why would you're a Muslim? You consider Quran as your word from your own God. Why would it call Jews as donkeys? Why? Metaphor, please come here. Why? I'm terribly upset. You as an individual you are very clearly stating that you wouldn't like to be called a donkey, which I completely understand. I wouldn't like to be called a donkey. Neither would my brother here and my friends here and so on. We wouldn't want to call any human being a donkey. It's not just rude. If I were to use the word rude, that'll be an understatement. The very fact is Islam is nasty, evil, wicked to the core. And the gentleman here, he hasn't read his Quran, so he's clueless. So this is what Islam does. Raises people in the millions who are clueless, mobilizes them as an army, again who are clueless. This young man... Don't touch me. You did touch me. You did touch me again. You did touch me again. You did touch me again. So why not?
What are you talking about? Why?
Well, why can't I speak about you?
Why should you?
Because you touched me already. Why can't I speak about you?
I touch your microphone because I don't want my voice to be recorded.
What's that?
I don't want my voice to be recorded.
You know the best way to do that? Stay away.
You say I'm not going to move away.
Okay, that's fine. So your voice would be recorded. Your voice would be recorded. The fact that you clearly can't even demonstrate composure would be recorded. So let's go on. So Islamic, yes.
Why do they get angry?
Well, they get angry because they haven't got. They get angry because they.
They're getting angry. They're getting angry because he's making personal comments. He's calling us clueless. Yeah.
Well, if
Clueless
you're
young
clueless.
man. You said I was dressed in religious clothing. Is this religious clothing? Is it religious clothing? You made a claim, defend it. Is this religious clothing?
What is it then?
It's cultural clothing.
Cultural clothing.
Cultural clothing.
Where were you born?
Huh?
Where were you born?
Don't ask personal.
Where were you
It's
born?
cultural clothing.
No, you're saying this is cultural clothing. Where were you born?
I was born here.
You were born here.
I was born here.
Okay. What's
not?
your nationality? You were born
Don't
here.
ask
What's your
silly-
nationality?
don't ask silly questions,
No,
bro.
I'm trying to understand what culture you have in your mind.
Don't ask about
I'm
culture.
really trying to understand what culture you
Don't
have
make
in your
him
mind.
ask you any question.
You were born here.
Don't make him
What is
ask
your
you any
nationality?
question.
What's your
You ask
nationality,
him
sir?
question. Don't make him ask you any question. You ask him question.
So clearly,
These
all right, okay.
These are the same
Let's
people
go through this list, my dear
who
friends.
don't want peace.
Surah 7, Ayah 176. According to Islam, Jews should be seen as dogs. Surah 62, Ayah 5. According to Islam, Jews should be seen as donkeys. Surah 98, Ayahs 6 and 7. According to Islam, Jews and Christians are worst of creatures when they don't agree with Islam. Surah 4, Ayahs 47, 53, 154, 155 have some very nasty comments about Jews. Surah 17, Ayah 22 to 39. Friends of devil, Bani Israel. The topic, the surah's name is Bani Israel, and it goes on to describe the friends of devil. Surah 2, Ayah 65, apes. Now, let me ask you, my dear friends, how is reading going to help? How is reading going to help?
Anything. I can
Yeah. How is reading going to happen? Have you ever read the Quran?
Read the ayah.
Have you ever read the?
Yeah, of course.
Have you ever read the Quran?
Yeah, of course.
So you should know Surah, the Surah 7, Ayah 176.
Read
You should know.
Open it, read it.
Have you ever read the Quran?
Of course. But
So Surah 7, Ayah 176. Why dogs? Why are Jews
Read it,
like dogs?
read it.
Why are Jews like dogs?
Open
Would
it.
you agree with that statement? If the Quran says they are like dogs, would you agree with that?
it doesn't say that.
Would you agree with that?
I can open it.
Would you agree with that? Would you agree with that?
I'm saying open the book.
Would you agree with that?
You don't know. Brother,
If you don't know, just say.
You don't know.
Good.
You don't
How
know.
old are you now?
Why? You don't know.
How old are you now?
You don't know why.
Hey, what religion are you?
How old are you?
You don't know why. No, you don't know
I am a
why.
Christian. How old are you?
Christian, I can say Bible verse 1, this says X, Y, Z. Open it, let's read it.
You
My
don't
dear
know.
friend,
I can make you're
how
making,
old are
Ancient
you?
of
making
days.
baseless statements.
In the ancient of days.
I am making,
People
so
say things,
according to the
and
Quran,
they
how
read
should
things,
Jews and Christians
and they
be
call
treated?
people
You tell me.
names.
Open the book and
We
let's
don't know
Jews
why
and
in
Christians
those
who
days.
don't receive
But we know
Islam,
in these days.
what is the view of Islam of these people?
You know the verse you said, chapter 7, verse 1? Read it.
167. Jews and you tell me, you have read the Quran. How long have you read the Quran? Long time? Many years? Many years. According to the Quran, Jews and Christians who haven't accepted Islam, what is Islam's view of them?
Read the.
You tell me.
What's Islam's view of what? Who haven't accepted Islam?
Of Jews and Christians
Yeah.
who have rejected Islam, who continue to reject Islam. What is
your
Islam's view of them?
What is your view of Jews and Christians in these days now?
Yeah.
What is your view of Jews and
Excuse me,
Christians
sir, you need to stand in the
these
queue.
days now?
I am asking the questions right now.
What is your view?
What is your view?
What is your view
Yeah,
of Jews
don't be
and
confused.
Christians in these days now?
Jews and Christians
No,
who
no,
do
no,
not
no.
accept
We're not
Islam,
talking about the
what
past.
is Islam's
We're
view
talking
of
about
them?
the present now.
Yeah,
What is your, because we don't know what's happened in the past. No, we are talking about the present now. What
Why
your
is this
view
guy being desperate?
about Jews and Christians now in these days?
You sir, please come here. Please come here, please. That's fine. So you tell me, what is your view? What's that? One second. Well, people who I need to love, people who the Lord Jesus Christ loves, people who God of the Bible loves. So you please tell me, sir, what is your view of Jews and Christians? Are you Muslim, sir? Are you Muslim, sir? I've answered already. People-
We can't call him dog.
Okay, listen
We
to me.
can't call him
I answered
dog.
already.
So, right now, we can say him a dog. And
Good.
We can say him a
I'm going to
donkey.
say it second time.
Because
Please
he's
listen.
a true Christian
People
of those
who
days.
ought to be loved,
True Christian that
people
follow
who
Christ.
ought to be
So I can
spoken
call him
to
dog
and
donkey.
given
Why?
witness to
Because
concerning
he's
Jesus
a pagan.
Christ, but until then to be loved. That's the view of non-Christians
No, I'm not a Christian.
from
So that's the reason why I
Christianity.
can
Love.
call him that.
Now, are you a Muslim, sir? Are you a Muslim, sir? Yeah, please now tell me what is the view of Islam on Jews and Christians who do not receive Islam?
The view of is that they should be loved the same way you love your brother.
So quote me one verse in the Quran to make that point. Quote me one verse in the Quran to make that.
Same way, it's the same way
Excuse
that
me,
you
don't.
love your Christian brother.
Excuse me, don't lie, sir. Don't lie, sir. Don't lie. Excuse me, sir. Don't lie. Show me one verse in the Quran. Show me one verse in the Quran to demonstrate. You are shamelessly lying in a public place, sir. Show me one verse. So the gentleman says, Jews and Christians who don't receive Islam should be loved. Do you agree with that?
In the Quran,
Do you agree with that?
Let me tell you, in the Quran it says not all Christians are the same. Some are better than
all
others.
Christians are what?
Not all Christians are the same. Some are better than
lovely,
others.
lovely,
Some
lovely.
are humble. Some are so.
What is the general view of Jews and Christians who do not receive Islam in according to Islam? What's the view?
If you do not receive the message of Islam, God will judge you differently.
What is your treatment? What is Islam's treatment today?
If the Prophet made a peace agreement with Jews.
Have you ever read the Quran?
Of course.
Surah 7. Surah,
Let's open it. Let's open it.
yeah, let's read. Yeah, okay, let's read. Let's read, yeah.
Go on.
So,
Let's open it. Go ahead. Look, let me talk.
let's read.
You can
Whoa. Surah 7, Ayah 159. Moses' people. Who are Moses' people?
Yeah? 159, yeah.
Who are Moses' people?
The Bani Israel.
Bani Israel, yeah. Surah, same Surah, Ayah 160.
Yeah.
Moses,
160 or 159? Which one? Which one do you want to see?
Can you read multiple verses at a time?
Which one do you want?
We're going one step at a
You
time.
made the claim.
We're going 176 right now.
And you come back
Do you ever read a passage?
Open, let's read it. Let's read it. See, now you're closing the Quran. Let's read it.
You know why I'm closing the Quran? Because I think you are as primitive as some of the other people who showed up here.
You're not sincere. Wallah, you're not sincere. Your heart, you're not sincere. When I tell you
What
open
is
the
it?
book,
Explain.
you're not sincere.
176 we are about to read.
Yeah, let's read.
Okay, let's read 176. And had we willed, we could have. Are you listening? Had we willed, we could have raised him by their means.
The same way you know you are reading the book.
One second. Had we willed, we could have raised him by their means. But he clung to the earth, followed his own lust. Therefore, one second. Therefore, his likeness is as the likeness of a dog.
Yeah, this is not
Who is
about
this?
Jews.
Who is
This
this?
is not about Jews. This
Who
is
are
about-
these then?
Subhanallah, wallah, you proved yourself wrong. This is about people who follow their own desires, their lust.
Who?
People, anyone who follows people. Look, let's read it.
So, okay, so.
Who raised them. Therefore, his likeness as see the people who follow their desires, their lust.
Yeah.
This is not about my friend.
Who are these?
Don't. I swear, this is very. Look, if you're sincere, you'll admit you made a mistake.
Who are these?
These are people who follow their desires.
So
People
can we try and find out who these people are? How do we find out who these
It's
people are?
written here.
How do how do we find out who these people are?
You're not sincere. I swear.
How do we? You can swear as long as you want. How do we find out who these people are?
My advice. Look,
How do we find out who these people are?
it's written.
Excuse me.
It's written.
How do we find out who these people are?
The people to find out who they are. It's written on the verse who they are.
Yeah.
People who follow their desires and their lust.
Yeah. How do we find out who these people are?
Listen, you're not sincere. Wallah, you're wasting
Thank you very
time.
much. Yeah, wasting time. You can move on. Clearly, you can't read anything in context. Have you ever heard the word? Have you ever heard the word context?
Of course.
What does context
I
mean?
just gave you the context.
What does context mean?
You're not.
What does context mean?
You're wasting time.
What does context mean?
Context is the meaning behind something.
Context is the meaning behind something. Are you sure
Okay,
about this
You tell me
word?
what's the context.
Context is the meaning behind something. Meaning behind. Where is behind? Behind like that? Where is behind? Context is where you understand a verse by understanding what went beforehand to understand who were being spoken of. That is what context is. Now, would you like to find that out? Would you like to find that out?
You went another.
Would you like to find that out? And that is where I went to Surah.
You went another page.
Are you afraid of other pages in the Quran?
No, you made a claim about one.
Are you
verse. Now have to use other verses.
are you afraid? Are you afraid of reading the other pages?
Can you give me 10 seconds to talk?
No. If you can't make sense, if you please go on. Thank you very much. Thank